Hello, everyone, and welcome to They Say. My name is Allison McFarlane, founder and CEO of Allison McFarlane Inc., also known as AMI, and I am so excited to have this special guest with me today. I had have the pleasure of being in her life, her entire life. My daughter, Samirah. Samirah, thank you for being on They Say. What do you have to say about being here?
Oh, I'm truly humbled, very excited.
So we're excited to have Samira here today. This is episode 11 called Lessons Learned. And it was so important for me to sit down and have a conversation with Samira about just kind of the lessons we've learned and what we've gathered. We had the pleasure of this past weekend going to Samira's college and just getting I got the honor of just looking at her and seeing like my baby is growing up, and I almost had a whole meltdown, but I decided that I wasn't going to have a meltdown. But just to see her kind of assert herself, take on this new role of college student that's coming very quickly, and just kind of get a glimpse of what I put into her. But really, I know we're just really getting started on this next chapter. So I asked her to come and do They Say with me today, so we can just kind of go over the lessons that we've learned and just kind of talk through how has this entrepreneurship journey been for Samira, and just some of the questions that I get often. People believe that our life is like perfect and I have like the perfect child, and I definitely want to set that straight.
That's not true.
That
I am the perfect child.
Okay, well,
An angel.
okay, yeah. So no one is perfect. I am blessed that she is a good child. I'm very blessed, but I understand that no one is perfect, so I don't want to put that type of pressure on her. So Samara, let's talk about this. How is it being my daughter with everything that I have going on, the expectations that are placed on me from a lot of people? How does that translate for you?
Well, I really don't have anything to compare it to because I've never been anybody else's daughter but yours. But it's just very interesting when you go to like events and stuff, and people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, I know your mom," and it's just like you're just such like a, so regular to me because I see you every day. So it's just like, oh my God, seeing all these people get so excited, it's kind of funny, and it's just like, LOL, like I see her every day.
So you're like, you see me every day, so it's not.
Well, I guess like yeah, like you acknowledge like how special you are because of course people would have to have a reason to come up to you and say that, or me all the time. But I guess it's different for me because like I live with you, you know, so I see you through everything, and I see you every day, all the hours of the day. And when you're up at night at 3 a.m. watching TikToks, like I see that, and a lot of people don't. So it's like you're just like a regular person
That's true. We're definitely just like regular people. So that is
who
definitely something.
watches Miss Netta at
Yes.
3 a.m.
Yes. I do like to watch TikTok at 3 a.m. It helps me. It's kind of my like my guilty pleasure. I enjoy TikToks at 3 a.m. So with that being said, and you saying that people ask you what it's like to be my daughter, and they get really excited for me. How does that feel for you? Like, what type of pressure comes with that, if any type of pressure comes with it?
Well, I don't feel pressure because like I feel like I prefer to be in the background. I don't want to be. I don't like attention, so I don't want to be as far back from the as I can be. So it's like as long as all that goes to you, I'm cool. I'll be your like your secret service.
Okay, that's awesome. So when you say you'll be my secret service, so let me give you guys some backstory with Samira. So this is very intentional of why I put Samira on They Say, because like she just said, she'll be the secret service, and I'm trying to help Samira and just really encourage her to kind of come forward and speak up. So this is why she's on They Say. So when everyone that knows her personally saw that I was putting her on They Say this week, they thought it was kind of funny. And it is funny, but it's also intentional because I want her to be able to just kind of do interviews. I want her to be able to share her perspective and open up. She's a very intelligent young lady. I've been so blessed to just be able to do life with her. And I want her to know that her voice is important and it matters. So sharing her voice and having these conversations with her on this platform, I think was very intentional and very important to me. So, Samira, what give us a lesson that you have learned or are learning? You're about to go off to college, you're graduating a year early. How does all that feel on you? Or like, how are you feeling right now with all of that coming to life so quickly? Because May will be here before you realize it.
Like I want somebody else to take over, and I could just like sit in the passenger seat, and they can do everything I have to do. it's very stressful.
So how are you managing your stress?
I'm not.
Okay. So when you think of ways to manage your stress, what do you think through besides saying I'm not and I want somebody else to do it? So no one else is going to come do it. We realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no one else is going to come do it. So what steps are you taking? And what support do you have to make sure that you are, because any big undertaking is going to be stressful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you managing through that?
Oh, I just tell myself to shut up because there's people who wish that they were in my position, who wish that they could get out of high school now, and that like nobody cares. Like I just have to do it.
Okay. So you have an attitude that nobody cares and you just got to get it done.
Yep.
Okay. So let's go more into that because that doesn't sound correct. So let's.
What do you mean that doesn't sound correct? Are you gonna clock it?
So that doesn't sound correct.
What do you mean?
When you can't just say that nobody cares.
Well, I'm not,
because you have a lot of people around you that care. So
I'm not saying like
yourself,
my family
please.
and whatnot doesn't care, but I'm saying like when you're in the real world, right? This is what everybody says. Like, it's not like you can go to your boss and be like, "Hey, boss, like, you know what? I'm really sad. My boyfriend just broke up with me last night, and I just need to binge watch some Netflix and eat some chips. So I'm gonna take the day off." Like, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy because what the heck? But and that's how I look at this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, there's nobody else who can do what I'm doing for me. Like I have to do it myself. And then in this taking on so much work, it'll set me up for college when it's just like, okay, because I'm doing an accelerated degree, so it'll set me up for all the work that I have to do, and just knowing that like I can do it. I can handle doing 2 years at one time.
So what made you want to graduate early? Because this was your decision. So kind of.
I hate my school.
No.
Oh, okay. I wanted to graduate early because I want to be in the medical field, and I don't want to be in school forever because that's a whole lot of time.
So how long does it normally take a person to be in the medical field?
Oh gosh, well, have undergrad, so that's 4 years. And you get your med school, it's another 4 years, and you have residency, which that depends on if you specialize or if you're whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. So about 10 years or more, depending on what you do.
Okay, so about 10 years. So you decided to graduate early because you didn't want to be in school for 10 years.
Yes, and I was tired of high school.
Okay. So let's talk through that. It's just been me and you for as long as you've been around, for all 17 years. It's just been me and you. So I think how has it been in high school for you? Like just kind of translating high school, navigating through life. How has that been for you so far?
What do you mean? Like,
how is going to high school and then like in less than less than 9 months, you're going to be in college?
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. We went to my college campus and I'm ready to go. Forget high school. I feel like it's very hard, especially since like you said, like you're really like you were my only friend for a long time. Mm-hmm. So I feel like somebody's mom, but I'm not, thank God. But I feel like I could be, and it's kind of hard to like.
So you feel
relate to people because, and I feel like I'm berating them. Like if my friends are like, "Oh, like I did this weekend," or I had somebody do this, and I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, like why would you do that? Like you have to think about your future." Like I feel like somebody's mom most of the time, and not really like a teenager.
Okay, so I can relate to that because I felt like when I was about your age, I was always a little bit more mature than everybody else because I spent most of my time with my parents. So I didn't really relate well to kids my own age. And I don't know I often thought of it like with you in your case, is it because you're in a home with only a mom, right? So like you're in a single parent home. So I often wonder, is the reason why you relate well to, I would say, my friends and the people I spend my time with is because it's all about what you're exposed to, right?
Well, yeah, but I think because like it's not like you're a senior citizen or like 50,
right?
But you're not like 20 something, you know?
Right.
So I feel like you're very mature, very seasoned now. So like watching somebody go through different like stages of life, like from being like in their mid-20s to now their late 30s, like I guess you see like them change and evolve and how mature you are. Mm-hmm. And I guess the fact that like I've been around your friends a lot and constantly am, it's easy to relate to them because it's like I don't know, like you know how they say like learn from other people's experiences. Yeah, so you know how to do it yourself. Yeah, like, I feel like that's what it is. Yeah.
So you feel like you've learned from other people's experiences because you've been around mostly older people? Okay. So what has learning from, because oftentimes I feel like the youth takes for granted the lessons that the previous generation can give to them. So how have you balanced taking those lessons from other people and kind of applying them to your own life of what you want to do and what you don't want to do?
Well, I think it's made me very lame. Like, and that's okay, because like I like to be inside. I'm a homebody.
Okay.
But I think like when other people are doing certain things, like obviously I'm not doing them, and it's like okay, like it's I guess it's hard to like relate to people in those situations or even feel like in my age because I'm not doing certain things. But then like on the flip side, I feel like now that I'm going to college, it's just like well dang, like what am I gonna do with myself? Because there's nobody there to tell me, Samara, you can't do that, or you have to come home at this time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, wow, like I'm gonna have to tell myself to go to bed.
Yep.
And I'll be up at 3 a.m. watching TikTok.
Right. Because you might be late for class. So you don't want to be up at 3 a.m. watching TikToks, right? So with that being said, what are you most excited about going to college?
Me and my future husband. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Okay. Go ahead.
What am I most excited about? I'm most excited about like learning. Like that sounds so like cliche or like the most obvious answer. But I feel like me, like I don't want to say school has been so easy that I just kind of did like whatever. But I feel like it's not as challenging as I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So me going to college, like I feel like that is a challenge that I'm ready for. And I'm ready for the more like rigorous academic activities. And then I'm ready to like meet new people because I've been with the same people since junior high. So I'm ready for new faces.
So what would you say to the young ladies? Because there's young ladies on LinkedIn and there's young ladies on YouTube. What would you say to the young ladies that don't fit in with the crowd, that are what you quote unquote, as you called it, lame, which I don't think so. But how do you speak to those young ladies who don't fit in? They'll never fit in. They weren't called to fit in. So how have you learned to kind of embrace the fact that you're not going to fit in with everyone? Or are you still learning? And it's okay to say you're still learning.
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
Like I feel like I had to realize like okay, like certain things I know I'm not gonna do.
Okay.
And hearing other people like talk about it, it's like oh my god, like that's so scary. So it's just like knowing like saving myself from trying to go experience it myself, like by listening to that and being like okay, like I know I could save myself from this experience because it's not something I know I would enjoy. Okay. And then just realizing that like it's okay because if everybody was the same, then we would just be a cookie cutter society, and that's lame.
Okay.
And that not everybody is meant to be outside, you know.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Somebody has to be in the house.
Somebody has to be in the house. Amen. But I do want you to be balanced enough that you understand that you can be outside, but strategic in all that you move. So let's talk about your personal brand. And really, what have we discussed regarding Samirah's personal brand? What have you learned about yourself through your personal brand?
Oh, that you always talk about LinkedIn. She's a LinkedIn warrior, and how LinkedIn is the truth. Like other people are spending their time on Facebook and Instagram. Well, who didn't use Facebook anymore? Well, other people are spending their time on Instagram. She's on LinkedIn. So like how to leverage LinkedIn for your personal brand and how to use LinkedIn to grow out your Rolodex, your repertoire of people, and just using it to advance your career. And because you never want to move like what's it called, like laterally, like you want to move up, you don't want to stay stagnant. So
okay, so that's great. That sounds like everything I would say. How about your personal brand?
Oh, but you just asked me to tell you what I learned from you from LinkedIn.
No. I said how have you translated it? So how have you translated? That's great. I'm glad you're listening.
That's a hashtag work in progress.
Okay.
Well, TBD. Come back to me in like 6 months.
Okay, but you are starting to implement some things. So let's talk about what you started implementing regarding your personal brand.
I have a resume.
Yes, you
Yay.
do. That's it.
And I made it myself.
Yes, you did, and I'm proud of you.
And it's real cute.
Okay.
She's real concise, real clear. We love her.
I'm glad you love your resume. Okay, so what else?
I applied for an internship.
You did. So how will that translate with your personal brand? So when you think of Samirah's personal brand, what's 2 to 3 things that come to mind?
Black.
Okay. But that's not a personal brand. A color is not a personal brand.
Well, because I'm a Black woman. So
okay.
Black. That's what I mean by Black.
Okay.
academic, because obviously I'm going to college and
Yes.
I'm not done with school yet. And I would say like eclectic, because I feel like I have a lot of things that I want to do. So I don't want to limit myself to just one specific box.
Okay. So you feel like your personal brand represents you as a minority woman.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of Samirah, you want people to think of Samirah as a minority woman.
Well, I want them to think of me as a Black woman,
Okay.
not just a minority.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you don't see that I'm a Black woman, you don't see me. Because there's so much power from that, from our ancestors, from slavery, from how we were treated to how we rose above, and now we have Black millionaires, Black billionaires, just beautiful Black people doing beautiful Black things.
Okay, that's great. And what else?
What do you mean? What else?
So you want people to understand that you are for the culture.
BLM.
Okay, awesome. And then what else do you want people to know?
That not only am I for the culture, for our culture, but I'm for all cultures. You know, free Palestine. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that.
Okay, keep
Oh,
going.
sorry. I feel like I don't know. It's just a lot of different things. Like I feel like sometimes we can be so like closed-minded
Okay.
that we don't like just take the time to look outside of ourselves. So just trying to be like introspective and like realizing like I'm not the only person in the world and like everything doesn't revolve around me. So like how can I learn from somebody else, or what can somebody learn from me? How can we make each other better?
So make sure you're keeping yourself open to opportunities, to people, to experiences. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that's awesome. And I'm super proud of you. My thing with Samirah, and my thing will always be with Samirah, is to let Samirah be Samirah. It's very important for me that she feels that she has a voice and that her voice is respected as long as her voice is respectable. So giving her a space to be herself and allowing her the opportunities to navigate how life is and just being honest with her how things are and how things aren't, but allowing her that space to always have a voice. I think that's very, very important. And especially with her generation, because they have access to so much. So I definitely want to make sure that she has a voice and her voice is heard. And we keep the lines of communication very open so that she feels that she has the support she needs. Mm-hmm. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what questions do you have for me?
What's it like being a mother?
Ooh, that's a great question.
So, are you being for real or are you just saying?
No, I'm being for real. That is a really great question because I had you at 21 years old, and I wrote this earlier this week. I had you at 21. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't know where I was going to do it. I just knew I had to do it. And I think about now you at 17 and graduating a year early and all that you have accomplished. Some say, oh, you did such a great job. I still feel like our journey is starting, right? Like I feel like it's evolving. Our journey is evolving. You've done great. I'm super proud of you. You have exceeded my expectations. But it's not easy. It's challenging, especially because of the fact that it's just me and you. Mm-hmm. So you get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, the good, the bad, the ugly of life. And I know with any parent, we want to protect our kids from seeing like the hardness of life, us going through hard times or challenges. But as a mom and a single mom, it's hard. It's hard to shield your child from that because I feel like you are so a part of me and of my life. It's hard to keep you from that particular space. Does that make sense? So it's fun. You're my bestest friend. I'm honored to be your mom. I don't know what I would do without you. You, like I tell you this often, you saved my life when I needed, at 21 years old, you saved my life. So if I didn't have you, I wouldn't have half of what I have today. I don't even think I'd be here. So I am forever grateful for you. I thank God for you every day. Mm-hmm. And I just want to make sure that you have what you need to be great. Write me a song. I should write you a song? I don't sing. So you probably don't want me to write you a song because I don't sing.
My next question. I feel like Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Like
cool.
Family Feud.
Okay.
Like on the board.
Okay. Next question.
Okay. Sorry, getting distracted. What are you gonna do now that I'm gonna be gone? Because like you're not used to living by yourself. So what are you gonna do with yourself? How are you gonna occupy your free time?
I don't know. That's the exciting thing.
Any new hobbies? Any new
well, of
things that you wanna
course.
pick up?
So of course we're growing out AMI, right? So that's my branding and marketing firm and business development. So we're growing out AMI. And then kind of once I get you squared away, go and be great. AMI is going to be a global company. So this gives me the opportunity to really go global with it, leverage my influence and my connectivity in other places once I make sure that you're good to go.
But what about like on a personal level? Like how are you gonna occupy your time? Like what are you gonna feel? Like
So that's to be determined. I know
the transition is gonna be hard.
It is going to be a hard transition. You're absolutely correct.
I think for everybody.
I think so for everybody. That's why I wanted us to sit down and have this conversation, because people see highlights, right? They see pictures, they see us interacting on different social media platforms or just out and about, but just really us sitting down and just kind of talking through lessons we've learned. This is very intentional because we are both going into a pivotal moment in our lives where we're both transitioning in a place where we're together all the time, to where Samirah is starting to live her life and mom gets to kind of figure out what mom wants to do. So that's exciting.
Are you gonna have another baby?
No, I'm not having another baby. No,
you can name it Samirah.
Okay, well, no, thank you, but thank you for offering. I'm okay.
Well, it was an offer.
Okay, so what's the next question?
Oh, well, okay. What was it like going to Sam Saturday at Flam? How was that for you?
So for me, it was exciting because if anyone doesn't know and can't tell, my daughter is an introvert. I am the extrovert that has the big personality, and she is the introvert. So we actually switched roles when we got to go visit her campus, and I got to see a different side of her that I normally wouldn't see. And I got to see her taking charge. I got to see her speaking up for herself. I got to see her interact with her girlfriends. I got to see her kind of flourish. And why it's important to me, because there was a time where Samirah was sitting in class and she's laughing, but I didn't think it was funny. And she kept getting marked absent because the teachers, she would just be so reserved and just kind of in her shell that she always got marked absent. And it would irritate me because anybody knows me, I don't like stuff like that. So I was like, why are you getting marked absent? And I knew she was there. So I was like, well, why is she getting marked absent? So from us going to her being marked absent, and she was actually in class, to her taking charge, asserting herself, getting to interact with friends, just being very engaging, it made me so happy. It made me so happy because it let me realize and it allowed me to see she's ready. And I feel like any parent that's really really engaged with their child, for me at least, to feel like a release and like we're gonna be okay, I needed to know that she was ready. And on that Saturday, I got to see her readiness. So it made me it put me at ease in a lot of areas. What about you? How did it make you feel?
Oh, me, I was just excited because I'm like, dang, like nobody knows me here. Like I could just come in there and start talking with a country accent, and nobody could tell me that that's not how I normally talk.
Oh wow!
But no. For me, it was just interesting because I am very introverted, very reserved. Like I don't really like to talk a lot unless like I'm really close with that person. So it was like pushing myself to be friendly and to talk to different people that I probably would never normally talk to, and just like pushing myself because I'm always not going to be there. Right. So I can't force her to go make friends for me. And I can't be like, okay, like go make friends with this girl's mom because I want to be her friend. Like I can't do that anymore. So it's like relying on myself and speaking up because I can't even tell her to call my teachers. If I do get marked absent, I'm there. I have to deal with that.
Amen, sister. So I'm excited. Are you excited about this?
Excited about what?
About graduating?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Ready? You're ready to go? Okay. I guess that means that's the ready to go movie. So let's talk about our new journey, right? So I said in an interview I was in recently that I came and we kind of talked through what entrepreneurship was going to look like for us as a family. And I was so grateful to have your buy-in. But we've had some challenges, right, in this entrepreneur space. And I'm grateful for your support and your buy-in with it. So how has it been on you just kind of watching me trying to navigate what this looks like?
Well, I think it's very fulfilling. But what is the opposite of that? Like I would say is that and the opposite.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, like, yes, you see like a successful Black woman, like taking charge, going for what she wants, trying to dominate in an industry that's predominantly not that. So that's awesome to me to see because it's like, dang, like you can really do anything you want to do. And who's going to tell you no? Nobody. Because who is going to check you?
Okay, keep going. Okay, keep going.
But what was the question?
That's why you were.
Oh, but what's it called? But on the flip side, it's just different because I'm like used to seeing my mom like a solitude fortress, like Superman. So it's like seeing Clark Kent, and it's just like, well, what do you do with that? Like you just have to let them be Clark Kent and be like, okay, like you can't be Superman all the time because that probably gets exhausting. But it's taught me that I definitely don't want to be an entrepreneur. But kudos and props to all the people that are. God bless you, and may your business be fruitful. But that's not for me. I like having a boss. I don't want to be the boss.
Okay, so we're great. So one thing, like I said, I'm always going to give her space to be honest and speak on how she feels, and as long as she's respectful. So I'm grateful that you're smart. Stop it. I'm grateful that you feel that way. I think one of the greatest things that you said today that I want to kind of go back on and kind of revisit before we get off, because we have a senior meeting tonight, so we will not be on for the full hour. But my goal for this, they say, was to get the introverted child out and about and talking, because she is so uncomfortable right now. But this is just the beginning for her, and this is definitely a safe space, and you have all of our support. So putting you in spaces where you still have that safety, but you can be honest and kind of sit down and talk through like what life looks like for you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, go Bearcats.
Go Bearcats.
Class of 2028.
Okay, she's excited. Go Bearcats, class of 2028. So with that being said, as we come, because I think we're going to do just a couple more minutes on here. When you think of your they say, because this is my favorite question to ask everyone that gets on they say, or did you have any other questions for me? I'm sorry, I just went straight to the they say. Did you have any questions for me?
No, I just really wanted to hear what you're gonna. Well, actually, I do. It's a silly question though.
Okay.
Like, are you gonna cook now?
I am gonna cook.
That's a new hobby.
Yep.
You say eat them up.
Somebody's went to your school. Yes, I am gonna cook, so that will be my new hobby.
Well, that's one thing too. I didn't realize how many people actually went to Sam Houston.
So I haven't realized that either. And what I want to say is I'm grateful for my community, because we have had such an overwhelming amount of support. Once I said where she's going to school, I can't thank the alumni of Sam Houston enough. Like, from phone calls to people telling me, hey, have her reach out. We're here for her. Like, I am so grateful for the community. Like, I thought the Aggies were like next level. Man, these Sam Houston, they're something else. And they definitely rally for theirs. And I just really appreciate that, how they've come and rallied around her and just asked what she needs, make sure she has resources, make sure she has the connectivity she needs. I have been teaching her how to network at an early age. So we probably should have talked about that, how you've learned how to network. Okay. So you want to talk about how you've learned how to network?
Yes. I feel like for me, the ultimate, I have one network, the ultimate network, the ultimate connector.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Fike.
Yes.
Dennis Fike.
Yes.
I feel like you always need a person to support you.
I'm sure people hear you.
And whatever you do. And I think he's definitely that person outside of my mom for me. And he was like a really big part of me going to Sam Houston, and a big reason, like when I told him I didn't know where I wanted to go, because I wanted to go to Baylor, but that's a whole story for another day. And I was really up in the air about where I wanted to go. And I feel like he really sat down, talked to me, put me on the phone with other people, put me in the right frame of mind, plugged me into an internship, like did so much for me that I'm very grateful for that. So I learned from my mom that networking is important, because if I didn't have that, then I don't know where I would be today.
That's very true. And that speaks also to the personal brand of yours, regardless of being a minority woman and an academic weapon. You're personable. People want to connect you to things because you're a woman of your word and you're consistent. So I just encourage you to continue to be consistent. Continue to stay true to your personal brand. Remember your morals, your values, and your scruples as you go to this next level in life.
Yes, I won't be at the club.
Yes, stay focused. Definitely stay focused. Auntie Tiff said that I don't know how many times, and I don't know if that's her that said "Go Bearcats." I have to call her afterwards and see.
Mhm.
But the amount of focus you need, and even me in this entrepreneur space, everyone will pull you in every direction, but it's ultimately up to you to decide what direction you want to go in, and does that direction align with the bigger picture of where you're going. You know, my favorite thing is always think of the bigger picture. How does this affect your personal brand? How does this affect how you want to be seen? And how does this affect your influence, right?
I'll pull it presidential.
So
I feel like
okay,
Joe
so after me saying those things, what do you hear?
I just hear what I've heard all the time.
Okay.
And I just hear that when I go to campus and when I go to SAM that I just gotta be locked in. And that yeah, just locked in from the start. You know.
Awesome.
2028 is around the corner.
It will be here before you know it. We're already in 2024.
Already halfway there.
I remember when I had you, and now I'm looking at you.
I remember when I had you.
You
back in 1985.
Okay, girl. But I remember when I had you, and that's just trying to figure it out. So I thank you for taking this time with me. Now, what was your they say? So what did they say, Samirah McFarlane, that wouldn't happen?
That's not my name. Oh, it is. LOL.
So what did they say that would happen that didn't happen?
They said I couldn't read in the first grade. No, I'm kidding.
No, that's not true. Okay.
They said that I would have to graduate in August, but guess who's not doing that? Me.
That's right, because you're going to be, what's the T word? You're tenacious.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about something.
No, you're tenacious.
Yeah, they said I wasn't going to graduate in August.
And when will you be graduating?
May.
There we go. So,
what did they say to you?
Oh, girl.
They said a lot of things.
They said a lot of things. If I had to unpack real quick one of my they says that I think is something that has really catapulted me and been the wind beneath my wings. They told my parents I would never be able to write or read.
In the first grade.
Not in the first grade. It was the second grade. They told my parents I would never graduate. They told my parents that I would never be able to carry a conversation and I would never be able to hear out of my ears effectively. They told my parents I would always need help. So I have a lot of they says. This is why it's called they says. But I have a lot. But everything that they told my parents and everything that they told me, like, that's why no is not in my vocabulary. We're gonna figure it out. So on that note,
bless up.
We thank you guys for having this little short talk with Samirah and I. We're excited about what's next for her. Next week, I am so excited. I'll be back to my they say with a phenomenal guest who is just going to set the record straight about affordable housing. So I'm super excited.
Good topic.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. He is a legend in these streets. He definitely will need no introduction, but I'm excited that he said yes. And we're just going to keep this they say train rolling. So thank you guys for being on the ride with us. And just thank you, Samirah, for sitting down with me. It's not oftentimes we can get a 17-year-old to sit down and talk with in front of a computer to talk about what life is looking like. So I appreciate you for doing it. So we're encouraged. You guys have a great evening and we will see you next week. Bye.